Welcome to The Journey, pathways to spirit-lifting conversations and connections to heart-centered living. With your host, Corey Defazio, planting the seeds for empowerment and peace-filled lifestyles and sustainable wellness, highlighting the practices for high vibes and the tools to shatter the illusion. Together, we can harvest the fruits of our divine nature and be the awakened conscious creation. And now, here's Corey. Welcome to The Journey. I'm your host, Corey, and thanks for listening here on Oneness Talk Radio. Absolutely delighted to be here with you now. We are all finding our way through this twists and turns of our reality and changes and working our way through these super moons of illumination and power and empowerment and so much happening. Just blowing us right through the roof on all this stuff. It's just wild. Everything has been amplified and illuminated. And it can be challenging and revelatory. All the energy that's been covered is rising to be seen. An absolute opportunity to see through the veil in so many ways. So maybe just we stop and maybe take a hand to your heart, take a deep breath. So, and just let it out. I mean, this is truly a mastery moment, to say the least. And what are you mastering? What is happening inside of you? For myself, it's been a flushing out, a cleanse. A real density bubble buster. Density bubble buster. Density bubble buster. Say that 3 times. So light is coming in to this being and pushing it out. That which would hide, would be hidden for years or had been there for years, and now it just wants to come out. Most of it unconscious. Things that I didn't even know were there. And it's just a real paradigm buster. And so one of my slogans on the journey here is shattering the illusion. And I think on the ascension path, it's really about shattering the illusion. And the flip side of the density plane is going deeper into the illusion of the illusion. What a trip, no? I think at some point in the last 8 weeks, I stopped asking, where am I? I mean, like I said, it's a true paradigm buster. Momentum and shift happens. And so as we ride down this road and into this expanding moment, congratulate yourself that you are alive and awake. I mean, there's so many people that have transitioned, and a lot of us have shifted our energy in big ways, whether it's more of a contraction or an expansion, and May has definitely been feeling that contraction and expansion and being able to see it from that witnessing higher perspective, that 10,000 foot perspective, taking you all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, and looking down and taking a peek and letting things unravel to be seen like they've never been seen before. That's what I see right now. And the energy through the lens of ascended numerology has been coming up like crazy. The numbers, the codes of so-called reality that puts things together often can be seen with the numbers and codes of it in the ascended numerology. And I've been looking at that a lot lately. And I'll often check each day the codes of the ascended numerology using the number sequences to bring the dates and names and locations and even addresses and bringing these numbers all the way down to somewhere between a 0 to 12, these 13 sacred digits, these 13 lenses of divine expression into form. They're really codes, I feel like, the codes of reality, kind of like in the Matrix when he finally wakes up, when Neo wakes up in the movie The Matrix, and he can just see all the language. He can see all the light and how it makes up this computer generated reality. That's kind of how ascended numerology is. It's different, but it's similar. It's like, and for those of you who have studied it or played with it or had a reading or something, it's pretty amazing. And I noticed the other day we were looking at, I think it was May 13th, 2020. So it was the 5 for May and the 13th and the 2020. And so the day itself was the 13, which is that sacred number, that 0 through 12, those 13 digits. And it was interesting because the 13 was there, but if you added up, if you took the 5 plus the 1 plus the 3, which came to the 9, and then you took the 2020, so you added the 2 2s together and you got a 4, and then you added that 5 plus the 4 plus the 4, and you came up with 13. So it's back at that 13. So it's that all-encompassing energy of all the codes. And I've been noticing this come up a lot lately, these 13s. That lucky 13, I'm calling it, just keeps coming up. And there are so many examples of 13 as the sacred number. And like I said, in the ascended numerology, the 0 through the 12 is the 13 digits. And so as we look at all these different codes, we can really kind of get a little bit of a understanding of the energy in the moment, or even just seeing a number as something grabs your attention and it happens to be a number, and you add up the numbers, and then you can get an interpretation and what's going on in that moment. And even the odometer on my car, sometimes I'll look at that and I'm like, oh, wow, it's a 10, one with the infinite. The manifestation of all energy, wow, and it's kind of inspirational and validating and really, really revelatory. And today is the 17th, which is a really sacred number. And if we take it's the 17th, right? So the 1 plus the 7 equals the 8. And the 8 is that spiraling lotus, that spiraling crystalline lotus, and the archangelic community. And it's also that if you take the 8 and put it on its side, you're looking at the infinite as the 8. And the whole date, we're here at May 17th. So the 17, which is the 1 plus the 7, is the 8, and it's all about the archangels. And then if you take the whole date, like the 5 plus the 17 plus the 2020, that comes right back to the 17, which is that 1 plus the 7, and back to the archangels and that spiraling, illuminated lotus, and really blossoming up and spiraling into the central sun. And as we find ourselves being slingshotted back from these more densified realms into the reunion of the one energy, the oneness, it's a really powerful time. And I notice with the archangels and right there with us, guiding us. And so today is a reminder that we are never alone, and that we have an agreement with these beautiful angels to be our guides during this time of the shift of the ages. We made an agreement that we would have some form of communication or something that would help us remember who we are as we are at this transitional point in this expansion of light. And as the density from the slingshot back into that full illumination and that soul reunion, I'm feeling it as the one. The oneness energy is just keeps coming up like crazy. The way I've been experiencing it lately, guys, it's like I'll be talking or doing something, and just even the energy in my body or the motion or the emotion of how I'm doing it, it seems like it's a combination of all the people in my life, or even people in, from 20 years ago that just touched my life and somehow touched my energy. And it's just like, it's the expression of form now that I call the Corey in this moment, or it just feels like it's all of that, all of that, everything I see and witness. And it's really amazing. And to me, that feels like it's on that oneness track, and just to feel the oneness of all beings and things and the divine. And it's really fun just to watch all these revelations come forward in this really big moment. And this really is the energies jumping, making me want to just jump up and down with this reunion energy. It's just there's just so much expansion and contraction moments that just really, it's like that balloon blowing up and then shrinking and then blowing up and shrinking and blowing up and shrinking. But it's stretching, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. And I'm liking it. It has a lot of challenge in it, but I mean, it's really being freed to fly beyond the world of illusion. I feel like this transition is a doorway, a portal back to the cosmos. And the body may not enjoy that, sometimes, because it's so much energy, and the dense form part of the body is just like, whoa. But the soul, so many souls are being released back into the oneness, and so the souls enjoy that moment of freedom, and the body's kind of like, oh, well, what's going on? What are we doing? And then the soul's free to cruise the universe, and it's just crazy. This year of this 2020 is really the year of the 4, that still center of balance with the double infinite. It's just, and that's another one that just keeps showing up over and over and over. The 4 with the 2 zeros, and the zeros are the infinite. And so you got these double infinite energies. And just, it's really twice the ride into this infinity energy. So this 4, the still center of balance, and this dragonfly energy that is offering us the mastery of energy of floating above these powerful energies of shift without being completely blown over. We may be shaken up a little bit, but as we are embodying that dragonfly energy, how the dragonfly can just hover above the water and hover above the lotus and really just touch in with each experience, but still floating and not being consumed by the energies of density that may try to pull you in. And many are being pulled in, and the dragonfly can hover over those lotuses and experience without being attached. And this is the key, not being attached. Experience without attachment to the density. And we are being schooled right now. I feel like I'm being schooled. This is like the graduation. And now is the moment to put it all, everything you got, sincerity, love, and presence, leading us to that steadfast commitment and that complete trust and the focus awareness, like Shri and Kira are always talking about, which absolutely makes sense to me more than ever now. This is just really an up-level moment, and I bow before the divine and these beautiful teachers and community of self-ascension that it's amazing. It's just amazing. And so back to this 4 in ascended numerology, it's that equilateral cross, that still center of balance, that perfect still center of balance. And this 4 has been showing up repeatedly for me. I noticed 2 weeks ago, I had shared oftentimes on the show, most shows, I like to share what I call a stillness moment. And a stillness moment is basically, it could be an aha moment, or a moment in nature that just blows your mind, or or something that just really catches you and just kind of blows your paradigm, kind of blows your mind out, expands your mind and does these different things. So I call it a stillness moment because it's just, I think of it as just like there's this stillness, this peace, and then there's an expansion of perspective, which is really what it's all about for me. It's like, and so when I was sharing my stillness moment a couple weeks ago, I had just finished my new healing studio, which I call the Golden Chamber. And I was enjoying the space, looking out it has like a large door that I can open up and just look out into nature. And I was just enjoying the space and really just enjoying the fact that I had finished all the work, because I did all the work myself, the painting, the drywall, getting everything up and running, the shelves, and just making it my sacred space. And that's where I'm coming to you from today, is from the Golden Chamber. So please feel the emanation of this golden chamber that is really emanating this gold, gold, gold. And so I was sitting there a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting in a chair and just really enjoying it. I'm looking into this tree, just, kind of just phasing out and just seeing what nature is going to show me this time. And I locked eyes with this robin, this bird, this big robin sitting in a nest 5 feet from where my front door was or is. And later, as I looked out onto the nest when she was away, and I just took a quick peek without interfering, and there were 4 blue robin eggs. And I just felt such a blessing of these living examples of nature and this still center of balance reflecting back to me in that 4 energy of the equilateral cross and then the blue, which is like the blue represents that blue starborn energy, like when you see the blue Shivas and the blue Buddhas, and it's just that real cosmic energy. And so this week, as I share my stillness moment and talking about the stillness moment, it's just basically an aha moment. It could be a jaw-dropping nature moment, or a paradigm buster moment, or just a reality bender, like the time could stop or speed up, or just looking through nature and seeing the energy of things through that portal. This week, I was on my way back. I was on my way out to work at a piece of property in the woods, and I do solar and electrical and different things like that when I'm not doing the healing work. And yeah, it was a really intense morning that day. A lot had happened. There was a lot of energy released. There was just very emotional with myself, my partner, and as I pulled into the driveway of this, beautiful place. It's a 40-acre ranch, way away from everything. And so directly in front of me, 4 deer lined up in a row. I mean, they were perfectly, it was like they were a line of deer, and staring at me as I'm pulling up in this Ford vehicle, and they're looking at me like, whoa, what's this thing coming at us? And just as I was just really blown away and just feeling the magic of the moment, and I just almost feeling tears in my eyes, and I'm like, wow, look at this. And then I watched a very large red-tailed hawk fly right over the 4 deer. And to me, that was a sign that all is in divine order. And I went from just this emotional state of just, a rough morning and just feeling lost and doing my best to find my clarity. And I just felt the power of the divine and the gratitude for expressing the love through nature. And it was just a really powerful moment that just stopped me in my tracks and put me in perspective and kind of gave me a little toss around and said, hey, everything's all right. Things will be fine. Here's a little example of harmony and peace, and feel the joy of this transitional moment in history. And so that was my stillness moment. And the 4, like I said, this 4 energy just keeps showing up And this year of the still center of balance with that dragonfly, it's hovering over everything. It makes so much sense because I knew we were in for a big year, but I didn't know, nobody, I mean, there were some people that predicted something like this, that this kind of transition would happen. And we all thought it would, a lot of us thought it would happen back in, 2012. And so here we are, and this big moment of this still center balance, and just to have that, be able to be the dragonfly, to be able to hover over some of all this energy that's flowing. It's quite the trip. A long, strange trip it's been. And I know I'm feeling it, and I know we're all feeling it. And that's what's so cool about it. And, in a sense, there's a lot of people are suffering, and some people are not, and some people are, but in some way everybody's touched. No matter what your situation is, it's a moment to just really go, wow, this is a moment. This is a moment to stop and pay attention and see and look beyond, when you're looking at those headlines or the news or whatever it is, or whatever pops at you, and just looking beyond that and seeing what is getting your attention. And so what I've noticed also is about the dreams that have been coming through have been really powerful. I had a really just probably one of the most profound dreams of my life, and I'd like to share today here on the journey. And if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Corey, and you're listening to Oneness Talk Radio. And we've just been talking a little bit about ascended numerology and how much power and energy are flowing right now, and all the all the different masters of darkness and masters of light and everything in between, and there's just so much going on. And so the dreams, I want to share a dream that I had, and it was highly, highly recommend you check out the Avesa dream practice, and you can find it over there at the home page on shriankira.com, and it's a really great way to keep your focus and clear the energy around your space, so that when you are resting your body at night, that you're not being messed with or pulled into the astral realm, or just, how sometimes you wake up with that hangover feeling in the morning, you're like, where have I been, and so this Avesa dream practice really sets the energy and the intention to really go where you want to go, rather than be taken somewhere by something that's not your intention. So feeling the power of the creation as you call in your awakened dream space, and calling it back from any interference. And that clear, conscious dreams, a place to be awake through your dreamscape and free of any limitation. That's what it can be. And really a conscious clarity playing field to fly and rise and teleport and transmute and practice your unlimited nature in that dream space. So speaking of dream practice, I would like to share a dream I had the other night, a few nights back, and my dream started out, and I'm just going to tell the short version of it, not take up too much time here, but it was just something about it just really blew me up. And my dream started out in kind of like a mall, a shopping mall, and I was there with several friends, and I'm not even sure what we were doing in there, but something about it, we weren't supposed to be doing whatever we were doing. It was kind of like this secret mission, and we were in one of the stores, and somehow just doing something, that wasn't what we were supposed to be doing, and so we were in the store, and then the owner of the store warned us that he was going to trap us with his security system. I realized later, after I journaled a little bit, it was all about technology and how the technology could trap. And so I found myself running through this maze. It was truly a Matrix moment. And I'm running through this mall and the maze, and there was all these different, roadblocks and just different energies trying to stop us. And as I played this hide and seek game, and I rose into what felt was absolutely must have been the ninth dimension. way beyond, the fifth dimension, and where I was witnessing the witnesser witnessing these density games, I want to call them. And next thing I realized, I'm circling around this kind of like a block of plays, of all these different plays that are happening, and all kinds of things being played out and positioned, and just little scenes of people doing this and that and saying things, and as I noticed, I was going around this kind of like, in a house, if you have there's like a center block, and maybe on one room's on one side, and then you have the kitchen on the other side, and it was kind of like you could go all the way around, and I was circling around this thing, and it was getting and I was having all these images of people being tied up, and these people begging to get relief, and these mind traps and scenarios of the minds of density, and I could hear voices saying, he thinks he's thinking. And as I watched my body going around and round this merry-go-round, faster and faster, it was really felt like a winding up and a winding down at the same time, and the energy was rising and rising, and it was just like faster and 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 faster, and then all this white light was everywhere, like this, just tons of white light everywhere, and it was building. It was getting thicker and thicker, and the feeling of going into this, it felt like a hyperspace, or like light speed, like in the movie when the stars all come flying at you, and you're just, you're going light speed, and then I woke up, and it felt the most amazing feeling in my body, and just this higher consciousness, and this most really profound state of consciousness that I've ever experienced in my life. And everything made sense to me. Everything, my whole life. It was like an archangelic view from the cosmos. A wide angle than anything I'd ever imagined before. And I felt this deep, deep compassion for all. And it was really this dream of the dreamed. And this overall feeling of knowing that I am love, we are love, and love allows. And so there's my dream. And this dream really took me for a ride, and I don't think I'll ever be the same again. It really just, it took me way up and just truly shattered the illusion, and showed me that higher energy, that when we rise up high, and maybe beyond the 10,000 feet, yeah, definitely beyond the 10,000 foot level, and into the cosmos. It's like this waiting room in the cosmos, and then looking down at all the energies moving. It was really profound. And so I was just blown away, and so I thought I would share that with you, and that was my dream. And so once again, I highly recommend, if you'd like a great practice that I'm doing, and it takes a little bit of preparation just to get the room ready, and it just really clears everything out. It's really nice because you wake up really refreshed, and you get to travel, and with awakeness, being awake to where you want to go and how you want it to go, and great way to spend the night, get your body some rest and expand your consciousness. And so moving along here past the dream, and talking about, at the end there, I was talking about love allows. And in the spirit of love and light, I just want to share a few inspirational thoughts on healing, because it's out in nature that returns to wholeness, or should I say, remember it. And so it really is our nature to return to our wholeness and just really remember it. It's just right there. And and so these are a few inspirations that came from my studies with Sri Ram Ka and the Avesa Medical Intuitive, which I am a certified Avesa Medical Intuitive, and taught by Sri Ramka, which is just a fantastic teacher and an amazing healer. And thank you, Sri. It's a pleasure to be able to know this and to be able to share it. Thank you. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through a few just inspirational thoughts, for me that came up for me, and I feel like it's always nice because it just helps us remember and keeps us into those thoughts in our head that help us expand. And so here's the first one. True healing does begin when we own our challenges and problems, not out of weakness, but out of strength and compassion. True healing does begin when we own our challenges and problems, not out of weakness, but out of strength and compassion. And so it's basically, I think it's talking about just having the courage to look at all the divine mirrors that reflect back to us, the relationships with what we've had in common or in those divine mirrors, and what gifts they can teach us about our relationship and with the journey back to wholeness, back to that remembrance of who we are and why we came down to play with love and light. And so I'm just going to read it one more time. True healing does begin when we own our challenges and problems, not out of weakness, but out of strength and compassion. Because let's face it, when we're looking at challenges, it takes a lot of strength, courage, and compassion for ourselves to just look at it and say, okay, these are experiences that I've had. And so, so the second one, inspirational piece, and these are these thoughts on healing. Our inner environment directly influences our outer environment. Our inner environment directly influences our outer environment. And so this is really this understanding that our thoughts and feelings co-create our experience, and taking responsibility for our healing process and taking action to facilitate healing. So what's inside is outside, and what's outside is inside. It's all one. And the third inspirational thoughts on healing. True healing happens as we do the things that our body and spirit want most, which is to come back to our authentic self. I like this a lot. True healing happens as we do the things that our body and spirit want most, which is to come back to our authentic self. And so I have kind of a good example that I personally experienced lately that has to do with these inspirational thoughts. And it goes back to just the struggle for years of different kinds of work, that brings in the money to pay for life, that we all participate in. But it seems that I keep burning out, and the work that I do, whether it's electrical or solar. And the one thing that I don't get burnt out is the healing work, and I'm realizing in a greater context now is that I don't burn out on the healing work, because it's really it's service to the divine and service to humanity. And to watch people go through the transformations is so powerful and so rewarding. And I know oftentimes Archangel Zadkiel talks about are you working, or is your work play? Is your play work, or is your work play? And I had been, training for years as a healer, and I've had clients and some really great moments of seeing lots of clients and enjoying watching people make the transitions as I'm making the, my own transitions. But most of the time, I usually end up, working, doing things that are not really feeding my soul. And the root chakra in the ascended form is creating from the abundant spirit. I've observed over the years that my work, after a period of time, would make me feel really tired, usually requiring a lot of caffeine to get it done. And when I'm working as a medical intuitive and a light worker, my energy just skyrockets. I don't need to add anything to it. It just naturally, and I really think that's that passionate action. You're passionate about it. It's what you want to be doing, and so you're just naturally energized, by that divine energy that's just got you flowing. You're in a flow. And truly, I believe it's a matter of releasing fear, in this case around the root chakra. And the root chakra is all about that Shakti creation, bringing in the abundance from an abundant spirit. And I have witnessed myself and clients time and time again stuck with, I have to do this work, and I have to because of X, Y, and Z. And that fear of our passionate action not creating the abundance that we really want. So it gets pretty tricky because, we want to be stable, and we want to feel that stability, that balance. And with the root chakra, the traditional root chakra, so let's talk a little bit about the first chakra, the tradition in the traditional sense, and the ascended energy. The root chakra is the heart chakra. But in order to really anchor into that ascended chakra, we have to kind of quiet down and love the lower three chakras. And so we'll talk a little bit about the traditional root chakra. And traditionally, it's about safety, the tribal, the survival, generally mostly filled with fear of not having enough is kind of a big one. And as we heal our first chakra with our self-inquiry and a loving embrace of this area, just really getting in there and loving it and giving space to let it expand, and understanding what we can do to release energy down in that area. And so getting down to the root of the issues. And we can practice releasing energy of the old patterns and belief systems. And so I'm just going to name off a couple practices that I've been working with lately that are really great. And we're talking about the root chakra, just in case you joined us late here. The root chakra, the traditional root chakra at the base of the spine. And a practice that really helps release our need to tear ourselves down or judge ourselves. And this practice is fairly simple. It's just a matter of remembering. Practice being connected to the effort extended, not the outcome. And so basically you're just really just putting your intention and doing a good job, and then, sometimes it comes out great, or sometimes it doesn't come out the way, it judged it should come out, or whatever. So it's just basically of letting go of the outcome, even though you put in the intention and you connect to the effort extended, and really allow the altruism of divine love flow through you, and release the need to control any outcome or need for feedback. Be not concerned by what others think. Just serve now. Don't wait. There's another one. And so the first practice was just, just practice being connected to the effort extended, not the outcome. And the other one is basically, it's all about serve now, don't wait, help others on a daily basis. And so the main thing on that is just help others on a daily basis. And this is a great way to serve. And I can testify to this as in my own life, my main life script has been, I'm not good enough, is what I've been working with for many years, which in turns inhibits flow and triggers poverty consciousness on all levels, not being good enough. And so there, I have so we're still talking about the first chakra. It's just going to be the first chakra, talking about this first chakra today, because it's a biggie. It's a biggie, and it's all about our peace and just anchoring our peace in who we are and our being comfortable in our own skin. To anchor that peace is so important, because if we anchor the peace, then we can move into that unconditional love and then bring the peace and the love together, and next thing you know, you're in joy. And we love joy. And so a couple mantras. And so I just threw out a couple practices. I've been really working with the effort extended, not the outcome, a lot. And also serving. Serve now. How can I serve? That's a question I've been asking myself. How can I serve? Rather than, how much money can I make? Or how much, how can I do this? How can I, do the math on this? Or, and rather than just serve and just trust that the needs will be met, and that your needs will get met, and that by just serving the divine and serving your humanity, that everything will be provided. And it's really a trust. It's really about bringing, just that real trust, the trust. And that acronym for trust could be truth revealed under spiritual tenacity. And I believe that came through Archangel, not Zadkiel, I think it was Archangel Uriel. I believe it was Archangel Uriel in the Golden Ray teachings. And it's trust, and just the T is truth, the R is revealed, U is under or understand, spiritual as the S, and tenacity is the T. Truth revealed, understanding, spiritual tenacity. Because as the truth is revealed, then we can really understand and be in that spiritual tenacity. Yeah. And so anyways, talking about a mantra or two here for the first chakra, because I think it's great if we do a practice that really engages that chakra, and also the container practice if we just feel like there's a lot of goop down there. Let's just take a moment and as we're here at the first chakra, and let's just do a little chakra balancing, just a mini. And so if you put your hand on your heart and take in a deep breath, and just notice an emerald green infinite symbol in the horizontal position coming right into your heart chakra. And let that spin in your heart. Just let it spin right there. That infinite emerald healing green energy. And then next thing you notice, you have a vertical infinite symbol in the gold. In that brilliant gold, coming in and connecting with that horizontal green infinite symbol, and letting those two spin together, the green and the gold melding together into this beautiful golden emerald green color. And as you're noticing your heart and this healing frequency of love and wisdom in balance, and just go ahead and notice another green infinite symbol coming right out of the heart. in that vertical position, and just take it down. You're making a copy of it, of this green, this emerald green, infinite, and just allow it to go all the way down to the base of the spine. Right there at the first chakra, the traditional root chakra, at the base of the spine. And just let it spin there in the infinite, in that emerald green, that healing, beautiful frequency of light and love and peace. And just let it clean and clear anything away that needs to be cleaned and cleared. Just let it spin there. Even just knowing it's spinning and moving through there with that amazing green, emerald green, so much healing, frequency, beautiful. And so just let that spin there. And just take in a deep breath and let it out. Sigh. And just feel that beautiful root chakra. And I'm going to go ahead and just name off the mantra. And so just maybe keep a hand to the heart and just hear this. And this is for the root chakra. I deserve because I was born. I deserve because I was born. I deserve because I was born. Take that one in. The other one that I'd like to share, I am enough because I am. I am enough because I am. Taking a deep breath. I am enough because I am. And so those are two mantras. I deserve because I was born, and I am enough because I am. And these are just two great mantras, empowerment statements, just helping that energy get back into the ascended state as we cleared it out. Another good one, if you're feeling like you're not getting it, you're needing a little more clearing down there, you can use the container practice. Great practice. And you can find that at practices at shriankira.com. Just look under practices and you'll find the container practice. And this one just really is like it reminds me of a flush. It's like flushing out things that just need to be flushed. And sometimes you got to do it, 20 times in one day or whatever. But it's really great. So consider that one. I love the container practice. I have my own container at the house. You can make your own container so you have your own, or you can just connect with the master container right there on the homepage at shriankira.com. And so, yeah, we talked about two practices and about serving and helping others on a daily basis, and practice being connected to the efforts extended, not the outcome. That's a huge one for me. I mean, I love that. And the two mantras, I deserve because I was born. I am enough because I am. And with loving presence in the mantras and the practices, we can really bring this area at the base of the spine into a beautiful balancing, infinite green, where it just stabilizes, helps stabilize the body into that peace, that peaceful state where you feel comfortable in your own skin, in your own beingness, and releasing the fear and the survival energy and the things that would leave us in a more of a chaotic density state. And we really become comfortable in our own skin, and we become our own beingness. Confidence in who we are and how can I serve. Can bring this area in balance through service to others. And this chakra offers a foundation for spiritual energy as divine love, offering abundance into the world. A foundation for spiritual energy as divine love, offering abundance into the world. And so this chakra is all about serving from an abundant spirit. Yeah, so a little bit of clearing, container practice, and the two practices that I named, true practices for the root chakra, practice being connected to the effort extended, not the outcome. And then the mantras, a couple mantras. So basically we're just cleaning out. We're cleaning out all that no longer serves us as we're ready to move beyond the chaos into that state of peace. And then working our way into that love and the joy. It's really powerful. And so, yeah, you can use the container to clear it out. I do that often. And you're probably already doing it yourself. And if not, go check it out. Go check out the practice. And then the two other practices, like I said, and then the mantra. So basically we're clearing it out, and we're in really just infusing it with more light. And you can picture that infinite green, emerald green, just spinning right there in that base of the spine. Yes, and so as we release, it's important that we fill it back up with light. And these practices and the mantras can really help do that. And so it's good to follow up with when you're clearing something out. And even just putting a hand on your heart and the other hand on that right at the base of the spine, and just feeling the love and energy of your heart and soul, just really healing these areas that need our love and attention. They've been just out of balance, and as we've been through so much contrast and friction and having fun down here in this playing field of love and light. And so sometimes, or oftentimes, everything just needs love, right? As love heals. And so, yep, finishing up on this, the first chakra, when we bring it into balance, we become comfortable in our own skin, and we own our beingness. Confidence in who we are and how can I serve is the question. And bringing this area into balance through service to others, this chakra offers a foundation for spiritual energy as divine love, offering abundance into the world. Reaffirm your intention to make life better for others, not just for yourself. And just bring and be the energy of service, both inwardly and outwardly, and thus attracting abundance into your life as a flow of resources that support your intention to serve. This stabilizes and cradles the Kundalini energy, thereby allowing it to flow freely without congestion. And so as we embrace that area, we're allowing a flow of energy. Just the fact that we're going to be helping others, and everything will come into flow for ourselves, and those needs will be met as we help others. And it's a oneness thing, you know. It's a oneness thing. And so that's it for the first chakra for now. It's that anchoring of the peace, and this is our foundation really, and we really get into this in the Navigating the Inner Matrix program. If you've had any, I don't know if you've had any experience with that, but you can you can take the Navigating the Inner Matrix course as a 9-week course, and I'm a coach myself, and it's really affordable, and it teaches so much about the archangels and how to anchor peace, love, and joy in your life, and it takes us into that violet flame of transmutation, and leads to other high frequency energies and higher dimensions. So if you get a chance to check out the Navigating in the Inner Matrix, I highly recommend it. I believe I took it 3 times. I took it 3 times, and then I was like, I got to teach this, and so I became a coach, and it's really rewarding to help others take the program, and it's great because you're consistently intermingling with the content of the violet ray, which is really powerful in a great way to constantly, because there's always the deeper levels to all this yoga of self-ascension work. There's just so many layers and paradigms and portals, and it's just filled with so much energy and love and perspective and expansion. And so so we're finishing out with the first chakra. We've done it, and we are just really moving through some really powerful times here. We are past that 3rd full moon, and we're getting we're about 5 days away from this new moon experience, which is that void of creation. And then we'll jump into June, where we will experience that full moon lunar eclipse, which is just another power moment, and really delivering us from everything that's been created through these experiences and the choices that have been made, which is taking us to that next experience. And so we look forward to moving through more energy and using these times to really up level and really rise to the occasion. It is a powerful moment, and I'm extremely happy to be alive and to be a part of it all, and enjoying making this show and connecting with community and the Mother Gaia experience, and this whole goddess energy return is just fantastic. And so I think that's going to do it for the show here today. I'm Corey, and you've been listening to The Journey, and look forward to seeing you next week, or at least talking and hearing. And you're listening to Oneness Talk Radio. Have an amazing week. Keep going, as the angels are always saying. Just keep going. You got this. And that's something that I remind myself of often. So big hugs of aloha and namaste. Have an amazing, grace-filled week. Bye-bye now. I'm Corey Defazio, and you're tuned in to Oneness Talk Radio. One world, one voice. Expand your vision.